all of you to this Bhakti Ladder meetup, and today we are having a very interesting topic. So the topic, name of the topic is, what is the conclusion of all the Vedas? What is the conclusion of all the Upanishads? So how many of you are excited to hear about all the Upanishads and their conclusion? So type me in the chat if you are very interested and curious to know what all the Upanishads are concluding. Okay. All right. So let me give you a little bit of background before we get into the whole class. So that's the reason why I played this video on Vedas, so which summarizes the Vedas. So how many of you got a little bit of understanding about the Vedas? I mean, the vastness of the Vedas. Okay, type me in the chat. Okay, that you got a little bit of information. Okay, just a feel of what, how vast the Vedas are and so wonderful the Vedas are, right? So Veda, okay, we'll talk about the word Veda. So this word Veda, what does it mean, and what is the meaning of that Veda? Let's try to understand. Okay, let's break it down first. So the word Veda is actually coming from the word with. You see, the word with. The word with means that to know. So Veda comes from the word with, and that means to know. That means all that is to be known. So Veda means all that is to be known is present in the Vedas. So that's what it basically means. All right. So type Veda in the chat if you got that. Okay. So Veda is like everything that is supposed to be known is there inside the Vedas. Okay. Okay. Now, these Vedas are very vast. Okay. So they are basically, how many Vedas? Anybody can say how many Vedas are there?
Four Vedas.
Four
Vedas.
Yajurveda, Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharvaveda. All right. So now, what is interesting is these Vedas have a lot of other auxiliary texts also, a lot of other texts. It's not just these four, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvaveda. Along with that, we have a lot of other texts as well. Okay, let us just try to understand that. So, okay. So we spoke about this, that the Veda is all about the four Vedas, and it means that the root word is with, to know all that is to be known. And then we're speaking about there are four parts in the Vedas. If you actually see, four divisions, okay, four types, you can say, four categories. So what are that four divisions? Is like, one is called as the Brahmana, and another is called as Samhita, and another is called as Aranyaka, and the last one is called Upanishads. Okay, so this is very interesting. So this Brahmana is ritualistic activities which is meant for the brahmacharis. Okay, Samhitas are meant for the grihasthas, and the Aranyakas are meant for the vanaprastha, that is the retired life, and Upanishads are meant for the sannyasis. Okay, now what is the most important part of these four divisions is Vedanta. What is more important than the Veda is the conclusion of the Veda. Vedanta. Vedanta means the conclusive knowledge of the Veda. Of course, like the Vedic knowledge also constitutes astrology, astronomy, medical science, and construction, engineering, musical arts, dance, so many things. But what is the conclusion? What is the best of all of this knowledge? That is the Vedanta. That is the conclusion of the Vedic knowledge is in the Vedanta. And these Upanishads consist of the best of the best of the best of the best philosophy. Philosophically understanding the absolute truth is Upanishads. So this word Upanishad is actually coming from two root words called Upa and Nishat. Nishat means to sit. Upa means to sit near. To sit near whom? To sit near the Acharya. Upanishads are supposed to be heard and learnt under the Acharya's guidance. Without Guru's guidance, without Acharya's guidance, it is not possible to interpret the Vedanta. So it is, we see that, there are so many Western scholars like Max Muller who have researched a lot on these Upanishads, and they try to write their own version, but then it is definitely bewildering conclusion, because they have not heard this in the disciplic succession. So how many Upanishads are there? There are totally 108 Upanishads. Type 108 in the chat if you got that. Totally 108 Upanishads are there. And there are multiple. There's a long list of all these names. Okay, Atma Bindu Upanishad and Sannyasa Upanishad, Paramahamsa, Parivrajaka Upanishad, Malika Upanishad, Devi Upanishad, Tripura Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, so many, many of them. And then out of these, there are 11 principal ones. There are 11, type 11 in the chat. There are 11 principal Upanishads. Okay, so out of which they are Isha Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Manduka Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, Aitreya Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka, and Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Actually, it is said that even if you read all of this Vedic literature for an entire lifetime, complete lifetime, there's a story of a Brahmana who read the entire lifetime completely without wasting 1 minute also. He read the entire Vedic literature. At the end of, after dying and he was born again, he was told that he was shown a big mountain, and he was said that whatever you have read in all your lifetime is 1 grain in this mountain. So the Vedas are so vast. Okay, but then we don't have so much time, okay, to spend to understand all the Vedas and to understand the conclusion of Vedas. And we are very, very fortunate because we have the guidance of acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, and we have Bhagavad Gita with us. So in Bhagavad Gita, there's a Gita Mahatma, there's a shloka which says, Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogda Gopala Nandanaha. It says that means Sarva Upanishado Gava means if all the Upanishads were to be a cow, Dogda, the milkman, is Krishna, Gopala Nandana. And then Arjuna is the person, is a calf. Okay. And then all of us are, relishing that milk. So Arjuna is the calf which Krishna brought in front of the Upanishads cow, and he milked all the Upanishads and he gave us Bhagavad Gita. So we have Bhagavad Gita with us. But the topic for today is not Bhagavad Gita, but the topic is Upanishad references given by Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita commentary, Bhagavad Gita as it is. And sometimes I might have taken some quotations outside Bhagavad Gita as it is also, but mostly centered around the conclusion about Krishna. So Krishna conscious conclusion, how it is with respect to Upanishads, we will try to understand today, that because there are some people who say that is this Krishna conscious Upanishad, Krishna consciousness based on the Vedas? Is it mentioned in the Vedas? Is Krishna mentioned in the Upanishads? There's some people who have a doubt about that. So we will clear all that doubts today. So how many of you are excited to hear all of that today? Type me in the chat. Okay, so that's what we are going to be discussing. All right, okay, thank you. So Bhagavad Gita. What does Bhagavad Gita say about the Vedas? We saw that the Vedas are very vast literature. There is so much in the Vedas, so much. We also saw in the video, he said that without knowing Sanskrit, you can't understand anything. Okay, that's fine, but we are very fortunate. The reason is, I'll tell you why. What's the reason? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said something very interesting. Let's see what did he say. Vedaischa sarvair aham eva vedyo. This is from Bhagavad Gita chapter number 15, verse number 15. What does that mean? By all the Vedas, I am to be known. In simple words, Krishna is saying that the purpose of all the Vedas is to know Krishna. The purpose of all the Vedas is to know Krishna. That is the ultimate purpose. There can be so many other purposes of the Vedas because the Vedas cater to different kinds of audience for different kinds of purposes also. For example, the Vedas also talk about science. They talk about gravitational force. They talk about astronomy, astrology, medical science, and musical arts, dance. And they also talk about philosophy and history and Niti Shastra, morals. So many things are there out of Vedas. And these Vedas, by doing the ritualistic ceremonies given in the Vedas, we can achieve the destination of Swarga. that is the heavenly planets. Okay, or we can get impersonal liberation, we can completely finish our material existence, or we can even attain to the supreme personality of Godhead, that is Param Gatin, to attain the lotus feet of the supreme being. So who is that supreme being mentioned in the Vedas, and what is the supreme destination, and what is the topmost thing that is given in the Vedas? Let us try to understand. Now the confusion starts from here. You see, we have so many literature. It's not like other religions where if you ask the Christians, you ask them, what is your religious scripture? They will say very easily the New Testament. They will say Bible, simple. If you ask the Muslims, they will say it is the Quran. But if you ask the Hindus, it is confusing because we have the 4 Vedas and 6 Upangas, and then we have the 4 different Upavedas, and we have 4 categories of Vedas which I have explained, and Dharma Shastras, we have Shruti, we have Smriti, we have Itihasas, we have Mahabharata, we have Ramayana, we have Bhagavad Gita, we have 18 Puranas. We have so much. So where do we start? Where do we end? How do we say what is the textbook that is the most important textbook? So we need some kind of conclusion. So people get bewildered by me trying to find out the conclusion. So there are so many scholars who have attempted to find out the absolute truth by reading these Vedas. They have attempted to read these Vedas by themselves, and they try to come to some conclusion. And unfortunately, they have not been able to come to the right conclusion, because the Vedas are pointing to the Supreme Person, and only the Supreme Person can say that it is me. It is said that the Vedas are like the mother, and the Supreme Being is the father. So only mother can say who is the father. So the Vedas can point out who is the Supreme Person. So, but we have to faithfully understand the Vedas and do not interpret it. If we faithfully accept whatever is given in the Vedas as it is, without any kind of interpretation, it is very clear. Mother will clearly say, he is your father. Similarly, the Vedas will point out who is the Supreme Being. So we will explore who is the Supreme Being mentioned in the Vedas. Let us start from Srimad Bhagavatam. All right. So this is a very, very, very wonderful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Okay, here it goes. It says, all right. I want one of you to please unmute yourself and read this for me.
Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna. Lord Krishna said, what is the purpose of all Vedic literatures? On whom do they focus? Who is the object of all speculation? Outside of me, no one knows these things. Now you should know that all these activities are aimed at ordaining and setting forth me. The purpose of the Vedic literatures is to know me by different speculations, either by indirect understanding or by dictionary understanding. Everyone is speculating about me. The essence of all Vedic literatures is to distinguish me from Maya. By considering the illusory energy, one comes to the platform of understanding me. In this way, one becomes free from speculation about the Vedas and comes to me as a conclusion. Thus, one is satisfied. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Let us break this down and try to understand what is Krishna trying to say. Okay. So here is the thing. Krishna is saying, what is the purpose of all the Vedas? He's saying, I am the purpose of all the Vedas. The same thing is in Bhagavad Gita. Vedaischa sarvai aham eva vedyo. What is the focus of all the Vedas? What is the focus of all the Vedas? It is Krishna. Right? Focus of all the Vedas is also him. It's him, Krishna. And then he's saying outside this. And now you should know that all the activities are aimed at and ordained to setting forth me. What is the purpose of all the Vedic rituals? What is the purpose of all the Vedic rituals? Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shanti vrachati. The purpose of all the Vedic literature or all the Vedic rituals, every ritualistic ceremony, every kind of worship, every kind of demigod worship, every kind of ritual which is given in the Vedas is actually meant for understanding Krishna or reaching Krishna. And let us see, what is the purpose of all the philosophy given in the Vedas? So there is a lot of philosophy which is speculative in nature. What is the meaning of speculation? That means trying to understand, okay, is it this or is it this? Is it this? Is it this? It's like academic exercise. You see, the academicians, they want some exercise for their brain. Okay, they want to do some mental exercise. They are analytical, right? They don't want to come directly to the conclusion. So they want to do a little bit of exercise with their minds. So all the purpose of all the philosophy and purpose of all the speculation, who is God? Atato Brahma Jignasa. Who is God? Who am I? What is the purpose of life? Who is the supreme being? Is Krishna. The purpose of all speculation is Krishna, right? So that's why it said Veda is to survive, Ahameva Vedyo. And then he says the essence of the Vedic literature is to distinguish me from Maya. It is to distinguish Krishna from Maya. That's the reason why all the Vedic literature are there. All right. So final conclusion. What is the final conclusion? After reading all the Vedas, what is the final conclusion? When somebody very honestly reads all the Vedas, they come to the conclusion that Krishna is the final conclusion. Okay, let us see the next verse. All right. Okay. I want one of you to please read this shloka.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, may I?
Yes, please go ahead.
Because they are bewildered by the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yajnavalkya and Jamini and other compilers of the religious scriptures cannot know the secret, confidential religious system of the 12 Mahajans. They cannot understand the transcendental value of performing devotional service or chanting the Hare Krishna mantra because their minds are attracted to the ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas, especially the Yajurveda, Samveda, and Rigveda. Their intelligence has become dull. Thus, they are busy collecting the ingredients for ritualistic ceremonies that yield only temporary benefits, such as elevation to Swargaloka for material happiness. They are not attracted to the Sankirtana movement. Instead, they are interested in Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. So let us break this down again. So this is very interesting. What is Krishna saying in this verse? This is not Krishna who is speaking. Actually, in this verse, this is a sixth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In this, it is actually Yamadharmaraj. Yamaraj is speaking to his servants. Yamaraj is giving instructions to his servants. So in this verse of Yamaraj, what is he saying is, you see all the Vedic knowledge which is expounded by the disciples of Vyasadeva, like Yajnavalkya, Jaimini, etc., all the compilers of the religious scriptures, they do not know the secret, confidential religious system of the 12 Mahajanas. 12 Mahajanas. There are 12 Mahajanas who are the only people who understand the secret of the Vedas, the most confidential purpose of the Vedas. Only the 12 Mahajanas know. Mahajana yena gatasya panta. Okay, there are 12 Mahajanas, like starting with Prahlada, Bhishma, and Kapila, and Lord Shiva, and the four Kumaras, and Bali Maharaj, and Janak Maharaj, and Lord Brahma, like that, Lord Shiva. They're totally these Mahajanas. They are these 12 Mahajanas. Only they understand the final thing. All the others who are not following the footsteps of these 12 Mahajanas, they are bewildered because they are only looking at Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. They're not able to come to the essence or the central point of the Vedas. Okay, so there's a very, very beautiful verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. I want one of you to read this verse. It's very, very beautiful. So let me see who wants to read this. Who didn't get a chance? Yeah, just read this.
Hare Krishna, may I?
Yes, go ahead.
Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Makha, Vasudeva para Yoga, Vasudeva para Kriyaha, Vasudeva param jnanam, Vasudeva param tapah, Vasudeva paro dharmo, Vasudeva paragatihi.
Yes, please read the
In the revealed
translation.
scriptures, translation Prabhupada Vijay, in the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifice is to please Him. Yoga is for realizing Him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by Him only. He is supreme knowledge, and all severe austerities are performed to Him to know Him. Religion, dharma, is rendering loving service unto Him. He is the supreme goal of life.
Hare Krishna. So that's direct. How many of you like direct answers? Type me in the chat. You see, sometimes people like puzzles, right? So people like speaking in code language. So they speak in a code language indirectly, right? So this is direct language, straightforward, telling you as it is open, secret is open, clear. But then the Upanishads are speculating about the supreme absolute truth by using some abstract terminology like Brahman and talking about Brahman indirectly without directly mentioning about Krishna. Why? It's just like this. Let us say there is a great person, and that great person's name is a very personal name, right? So his name is very personal. His story is very personal. It is meant only for those people who are very personal. But for those people who want official information about this person, you can read about the official information in the Aadhaar card or the passport. So there'll be some official name and official date of birth and place of birth, etc. It's all official information. So the Upanishads are like the official information or like the specifications, like the formal specification describing the Supreme Brahman without directly revealing who it is. But the Purana, Bhagavata, Bhagavad Gita is like directly revealing Krishna and directly telling his story. It is for those people who are understood and who Krishna has chosen. So that we will see in the Upanishads. I'm going to quote a lot of Upanishads today, and we will see how the Upanishads are indirectly speaking about Krishna and sometimes directly talking about Krishna, but it is only the acharyas who are able to extract the milk from this. Right? It's called the Premanjara Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. See, to understand Krishna, you need prema. That is, you need love. Krishna is there everywhere. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. I'll tell you one simple example. Wi-Fi signal is there everywhere. But you need a Wi-Fi receiver to be able to use that internet. Similarly, Krishna is there everywhere. But you require certain kind of a qualification to see Krishna in front of you. That is Premanjana Churita Bhakti Virochanena. That's why Krishna, he said in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. The only way to understand me is through bhakti. So the acharyas have got bhakti and they have been able to extract the correct kind of the conclusion of the Vedas. The rest of the people who do not have bhakti, they get bewildered. They start speculating about the supreme absolute truth and they get into some kind of a wrong kind of a conclusion. And sometimes they get into a very dangerous corridor and they slip down. And they come to a very dangerous conclusion thinking that I am Supreme Brahman. So definitely that's not the conclusion of the Vedas, that the living entity is not Supreme Brahman. Okay. So we will see some wonderful selected verses and quotes from the Upanishads quoted by Srila Prabhupada. Most of them, some of them may have been taken from outside. Okay. Let's start with the Taittiriya Upanishad. So let's start with the first one. Yad bhisha vata pavati. This is from the Taittiriya Upanishad. It is said, it is out of the fear of the Supreme Lord that the wind is blowing. This is from the Taittiriya Upanishad. This is one of the 11 principal Upanishads. It is a fear of the Supreme Lord that the wind is blowing. Okay. So, here it is not directly mentioned who is that Supreme Lord. So, if we want to understand who is that Supreme Lord, we'll have to connect back to Srimad Bhagavatam, because Srimad Bhagavatam is the commentary of the Vedanta Sutras. So, how many of you would like to see what is the equivalent of this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam? Type SB in the chat, Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll show you a verse which says the same thing. And we will understand who this personality is, as per, we'll get the secret. It's like a key, right? SB. Okay, let us see this. Let's see Srimad Bhagavatam, this is 3rd canto, 25th chapter, 42nd verse. Madbhayat vati vatoyam. Suryas tapati madbhayat. Varshatindro dahatyagnir. Mrutyuscharati madbhayat. Anybody wants to read the translation, please?
Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Shall I read from it or somebody else?
Yes, one Prabhuji wants to read. Yes, Selva
Okay.
Prabhuji. Selva Prabhu, yes. Selva Prabhu wants to read.
Translation, Prabhupada ki jai. It is because of my supremacy that the wind blows out of fear of me. The sun shines out of fear of me. And the Lord of the clouds, Indra, sends forth showers out of the fear of me. Fire burns out of fear of me. And death goes about taking its toll out of fear of me.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much. You see, the entire world is working because of fear of Krishna. This is from Kapila Gita, 3rd canto. Kapila Gita, Lord Kapila Deva is incarnation of Lord Shri Krishna. Okay, 21 incarnations is one of the incarnations of Lord Krishna. So he's saying, Madbhayat vati vatoyam. It is because of my supremacy that the wind blows out of fear of me. What does Taittiriya Upanishad says? Yad bhisha vata pavate. It is out of the fear of the Supreme Lord that the wind is blowing. Okay, so we can connect and understand very clearly that whatever is being said here, you see, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna said that here in the first verse which I quoted, he said that all the Vedic literatures, all the Upanishads are referencing me indirectly. So this is called as indirect reference of Krishna, right? So this is one example of indirect reference of Krishna. Let us see some more things. All right. There is another wonderful line which says, Raso vai saha. Rasa. What does rasa mean? Can anybody say what is rasa?
Taste.
Taste. Rasa is taste, right? Also, it is called as mellow, right? There are different kinds of rasa. What are the rasas that we know? Shanta rasa. And then dasya rasa. That means servitude. And sakya rasa, friendship. Vatsalya rasa, parenthood. And madhurya rasa,
Madhurya rasa.
conjugal love. Taittiriya Upanishad saying, Raso vai saha. Right? So, Krishna is also called as Rasaraja because he is full of rasa. Also, Srimad Bhagavatam has got another word. Do you know what is it? Rasamalayam. Bhagavatam, Rasamalayam. Rasamalayam means it's full of this transcendental mellows. So, Lord Krishna, Raso vai saha, is actually understood in 5 rasas. That is Shanta rasa, that is in the neutral, and then Dasya rasa, that is servitude. That is the best example is Lord Hanuman. Okay, rasa means it's a kind of a taste. It's a kind of a exchange. It's kind of a feeling. It's a kind of a type of a feeling with respect to Krishna. Dasya, for example, Hanuman, he always wants to see Lord as his master. And he always wants to be the servant and nothing else. Even Prahlad Maharaj, Dasya, right? And then Sakya. What is Sakya rasa? That means friendship. Arjuna and Krishna, they were good friends. They were very nice friends, right? And then Sakya, and then Vatsalya, still more better. What is Vatsalya? Means parenthood. Yashoda, she wanted to exchange the rasa of being a mother. She wanted to become mother of the Supreme Personality of God. And the topmost rasa is Madhurya. What is Madhurya? Who is the best example for the Madhurya rasa?
Radharani.
Radharani and
Radharani, yes. The queens of Dwaraka, who are the 16,000 queens of Dwaraka, and all the gopis, and Radharani, the best of the best. And also Bhishma Pitamaha, do you know what rasa he was exchanging with Krishna? Anybody can say? Okay, it's called Veera rasa. Okay, Veera rasa means like he wants to fight with Lord Krishna. He wants to fight with Krishna. When Krishna is standing as a charioteer with Arjuna sitting backside, Bhishma wants to put a lot of arrows on Krishna. and he is enjoying. Okay, that's also one kind of devotional service which Krishna exercises. We can't do it, but the Kshatriyas like to do that. Raso Vaisaha. Let's see something again. Again, Taittiriya Upanishad, which says the same thing. Yeah. Yad Bhisha Vata Pavate. It is out of the fear of the Supreme Person that the wind is blowing. It is out of the fear of him the sun is regularly rising and setting. It is out of the fear that the fire is acting. It is out of the fear that the death and Indra, the king of heaven, perform their respective duties. I have shown you the exact equivalent shloka from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Isn't it? Exactly the same thing from Kapila Gita. Let's talk about the Vedanta Sutras. Right? Vedanta Sutras is the topmost literature. This is a literature written by Vyasadeva himself. This is considered to be the best. It's a conclusion. See, the reason why Vedanta Sutra was written was there are 4 Vedas and there are so many different types of Vedic literature. And the Vedanta Sutra is a conclusion. It is a conclusive truth. So this Vedanta Sutra, let us see what it says. Here is one of the sutras. It says, Prakashascha karmanya abhyasat. Devotional service is so potent that simply by engaging in the activities of devotional service, one becomes enlivened without a doubt. This is about the greatness of the devotional service. Let us see another one. Vaishamya Nairgrunyana. He is not situated in the dualities of the material world. There is another very wonderful Vedanta Sutra which I forgot to mention here. You know what it is? Can anybody read that?
It's not coming up, Prabhuji.
Oh, sorry.
Prabhuji, the slides are not changing.
Sorry. Can you see this? Okay. It says Anandamayo Bhyasat. That the Supreme Lord is full of bliss. Anandamayo Bhyasat. That is Vedanta Sutra, which says about the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna's one of the name is Ananda. Ananda Nandano Nanda, Vishnu Sahasranam also says. His name is Ananda. He is full of bliss. Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Anadiradir Govindam Sarvakarana Karana. Okay, I hope, I think you missed this, seeing this, right? Okay, I'm just showing you this once more because you missed seeing this. So I was saying that the Taittiriya Upanishad 2.8.1 is speaking about this. It is out of the fear of the Supreme Brahman that the wind is blowing, out of the fear of him that the sun regularly sets and rises, out of the fear of him that the fire acts. It is only due to the fear of him that the death also functions and Indra, the king of heaven, performs their respective duties. And the equivalent verse I have shown you from this the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.25.42. It is because of my supremacy that the wind blows. Out of fear of me, the sun shines out of the fear of me. And the Lord of clouds, Indra, sends forth showers out of me. Fire burns out of fear of me. The death goes on taking its toll out of the fear of me. How many of you got some clarity? Type clear in the chat that you are getting some clarity. You know, the hazy clouds are now like a little bit settling down. You're able to see Krishna a little bit. Okay. All right. So I showed you the Vedanta Sutras, and then let us go to the Chandogya Upanishad. It says, Bahusyam. Bahusyam. It says, although I am one, I shall become many. Bahusyam means, although I am one, I shall become many. How do you understand this? So Krishna is like the Supreme Personality of God. There are innumerable incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. Right? He says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharataha. He says, Abhyudhanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinachaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Do you know how many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are there? Once we discuss this. Do you remember the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Once we discuss this. Right? So there are infinite incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? How many of you, can you just give me some examples of the incarnations of Krishna? Who remembers?
Varaha, Matsya, all this, Prabhuji. Varaha, Matsya, Kurma.
Right. Varaha, Matsya, Kurma.
Narsimha,
Vaman
Narasimha,
Avatar,
Vaman.
Ramchandra
Vaman,
Bhagwan,
Right.
Parshurama Bhagwan.
Parashurama,
Okay. Right. Right. So
and
there's so
last is Kalki.
Kalki. Okay. And
Buddha,
Buddha and
Haigriva,
Haigriva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Vamana, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Right? Yes. Okay. So I'll just show you very quickly what is the meaning of Eko Bahusyam. Okay. What is Eko Bahusyam? Let us see. All right. Let's see this. It's going to be very quick, but I can't go to detail. This is an entire class totally, if you remember this. All right, not this. Avatara. How many avatars are there? Let's see. Meaning of avatara means, we spoke about the meaning of avatara. Lord Krishna. From Krishna came Lord Balaram. From Lord Balaram came the first Chaturvyuha expansion, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. From Sankarshana came the second Chaturvyuha expansion, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. First Purusha, Mahavishnu. All universes have come from him. And then our universe has come from him. And then Garbhodakashayi Vishnu came from him. And then inside the Bhuloka, we are in Jambudvipa, we are in Bharatavarsha, we are in India right now. And we are here right now. I don't know where you are, in some city. And inside our heart, there is the incarnation of Krishna, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. The super soul, he is there in the heart of every living entity. He is also there in every atom, right? Every atom. Andantarascha paramanu chayantarascham. He is there everywhere. So, okay, let's see some more very quickly. All right. So this is about one kind of incarnation. There are many more Purusha avatars. There are 3 Purusha avatara: Karanodakashayi Vishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. And we have Guna avatars. What are the 3 gunas? Unmute and say quickly.
Sattva, Rajas,
Rajas,
Tamas, Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva.
That's right. Mode of goodness, Lord Vishnu. Mode of passion, Lord Brahma. Mode of ignorance, Lord Shiva. Right? So 3 guna avatara. Right? And then we have, this is done. And then we have Dasha avatara. Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrisimha, Balarama, Parashurama, Rama, Vamana, Buddha, Kalki. And we have Yuga avatara. For Satyuga, we have the meditation system. Krishna came in the form of, I don't remember the name, but he came in the form of, he taught meditation system. Treta Yuga, fire sacrifices taught by Lord Ramachandra. Dwapara Yuga, temple worship taught by Lord Krishna. Kali Yuga, the dharma is congregational chanting of the holy names of Lord Sri Krishna taught by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Apart from this, we have the Manvantara avatars. Manvantara avatars. So, how many Manus are there? Can anybody tell me how many Manus are there in one day of Brahma?
14. 14, Prabhuji.
Correct. 14 in one day of Brahma. What if I ask you, how many are present in 1 month? Can you calculate and tell me? Multiply 30 with 14. How much? $420. No? How many?
420, bro.
Okay, 420. 420 incarnations in 1 month. How about 1 year? Multiplied with 12. In 1 lifetime. So 420 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 100. So Krishna's incarnations are innumerable incarnations, right? So Krishna's incarnations are many incarnations of Krishna. So Chandogya Upanishad Bahusyam means, although I am one, I shall become many. That means even though he is one, he is, I'll tell you what's the difference between all of these incarnations. Okay, let's not confuse. Okay, sometimes people try to make this into a wrong conclusion, saying that everybody is an incarnation. You are also an incarnation, I am also an incarnation. But no, that is not the correct understanding. The correct understanding is Krishna is the proper understanding. So we have to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And let me just show you that. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Okay. What's the relationship between the incarnation and Krishna? Let's see that. Are you able to see something here? What are you seeing? What do you see?
Brahma Samhita, Krishna manifestations, all.
What do you see now?
DT, no, this is offering lamp, Prabhuji.
Okay. Who's the original lamp?
Krishna.
What happens when you light a lamp with another lamp? What happens?
You're spreading the knowledge.
No. No, what happens when you take 10? Can you light 10 lamps with the
Light,
same
you're
lamp?
spreading light.
Lighting,
Illuminating.
flame.
No, can you light 10 lamps with one lamp?
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
can you light 100 lamps with one lamp? Possible, right?
Yes. Yes.
And all of them have the same quality. Do you agree? Do all of them?
Yes. Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
is it that the first lamp is slightly different and others are different? No, right? So I'll show you. So there's a shloka in Brahma Samhita which says, just see this. What are you able to see? Yeah. It says, Deeparchireva hi dashantaram abhyupetya deepayate vivrita hetu samana dharma yastadrigeva hi vishnu taya vibhati govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. Now what it means is, it says the light of one candle being communicated to other candles, although it burns separately in them, is the same in quality. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who exhibits himself equally in the same mobile manner in his various manifestations. That means the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, originally one. Eko Bahusyam, originally one. The Supreme Lord is one, Krishna. But then he has expanded himself into many, many forms. I'll show you what. All the incarnations. Again, not to be mistook to be human beings. Don't say that Krishna has expanded as a pig also. That's wrong. Okay? Or Krishna has expanded as a snake here. No. We are living entities. We are part and parcel of Krishna and Vishnu. And all the expansions are many. There are thousands and innumerable incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has expanded himself. Okay, let's go to Katha Upanishad. Katha Upanishad is very interesting. The word says Katha. It's actually a Katha. It's actually a story. So it's a story, very interesting story where, there was one Brahmin boy who speaks with Yamadharmaraj. And he somehow takes the association of Yamadharmaraj and he asks Yamadharmaraj about some questions. And I've just quoted words from Srimad Bhagavatam where Yamadharmaraj was instructing his messengers. Yamadharmaraj says, actually in Srimad Bhagavatam, that I am one of the 12 Mahajanas and I understand Krishna consciousness. The disciples of Vyasadeva like Yajnavalka, Jaimini, they are bewildered by Maya. They do not understand what I and other 11 Mahajanas understand. Katha Upanishad is actually a conversation between a boy and Yamadharmaraj. So in that, he asks a lot of questions about death, about the real, what happens after death. Yeah, Nachiketa and Yamadharmaraj. So he asks a lot of questions about what is this nature of death? Why do people die? How to conquer death? So finally, Yamadharmaraj concludes saying that we have to do bhakti, Krishna consciousness. But since it is an Upanishad, it won't be very direct. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it will be very direct. Yamadharmaraj will say very clearly, just if you find anybody who is chanting the names of Krishna, do not disturb him. Do not disturb him. And I'll show you something very interesting. What Yamadharmaraj says is, he says, if you see that anybody is not chanting the names of Krishna, if somebody is not chanting the names of Krishna, you know what you want to do? Okay, I'll show you. I'll show you what he says. Okay, let me just show you. Yeah, this is very interesting. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Yamadharmaraj. Okay, we are talking about Kathopanishad, therefore I'm talking about this. Okay. He says, my dear servants, let's see this. My dear servants, please do not approach the devotees because they have surrendered to Krishna and they are equal to everybody. And do not even go near them. Don't go near the devotees of Krishna. They are always protected by the club of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Lord Brahma and I, and even the time factor, are not competent to chastise them. The devotees of Krishna cannot be chastised even by Yamadharmaraj. So, Garuda Purana is not applicable for the devotees. It is for the non-devotees. For those people who do not take the auspicious path of Krishna consciousness, for them, they require to read the Garuda Purana because they are under the jurisdiction of Yamadharmaraja, and then they will be either punished in the different kinds of hells or maybe they will be promoted to heavens, but it is under the jurisdiction of Yamadharmaraj, but not the devotees of Krishna. They are completely out of the jurisdiction of Yamadharmaraj, and they are directly under the jurisdiction of Lord Krishna. Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Those who are always thinking about me, I shall take care about what they already, I shall preserve what they have, and I shall give them what they do not have personally. He says personally. And then Yamadharmaraj is continuing and he's saying something very interesting here. Okay. He says, my dear servants, anybody can read this, please? This shloka, very powerful. How many of you are ready for a powerful shloka by Yamadharmaraj? Yeah. Read this, please.
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear servants, please bring to me only those sinful persons who do not use their tongues to chant the holy name and qualities of Krishna, whose hearts do not remember the lotus feet of Krishna even once, and whose heads do not bow down even once before Lord Krishna. Send me those who do not perform their duties towards Vishnu, which are the only duties in human life. Please bring me all such fools and rascals. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is not me saying, it is Yamadharmaraj who's saying that, those people who fail to be Krishna conscious in their life, who fail to be devotees, who fail to chant the names of Krishna, they are fools and rascals, and just drag them to me and I shall punish them. So that's why people say after death, read the Garuda Purana, because all the kinds of punishments which are given by Yamadharmaraj will be explained there. What all? That's for the non-devotees. Who are not devoted to Krishna, who are not chanting Hare Krishna, that is what is their goal. That is what is going to happen to them. Okay, they'll be dragged by Yamadharmaraj. Okay, now coming back here, Kathopanishad. Let's see from the Kathopanishad. Why am I talking about the Yamadharmaraj? It's because it's a conversation between Nachiketa and Yamadharmaraj. Very powerful Upanishad. Katha, it's a story. And let's see what Kathopanishad has got to say. Okay. Okay, let us see. This is very nice. This is very important. Nayam atma pravachanena labhyo na medhaya na bahuna shrutena yame vaisha vrunite tena labhasya tasyaiva atma vinivrunite tanum swam. Very important verse, devotees. Please, somebody unmute yourself and just read this. Very important.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
The Supreme Lord is not attained by expert explanations, by vast intelligence, nor even by much hearing. He is attained only by one who he himself chooses. To such a person, he manifests his own form. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So what is Krishna saying here? So there are some scholars who believe that they can understand the supreme absolute truth with the help of Sanskrit, with the help of their logic. They think with the help of some logic, mundane logic, they have understood Krishna. They try to come to some conclusion by reading the Shastras with some Vedic knowledge, and they think that they have understood everything. But this shloka is telling very clearly, Lord is not attained by expert explanations, not by logic, not by vast intelligence, not even by much of hearing. He is attained by only those people whom he chooses. who is going to hear Bhagavad Gita? Who is going to hear Srimad Bhagavatam? Who is going to chant the names of Krishna? Krishna chooses them. So we are all chosen by Lord Shri Krishna. The others, they may try, but unless Krishna chooses them, they will not be able to become Krishna conscious. That's why it is said in the Shastras, those people who are chanting the holy names of Krishna, they have already read all the Vedas in their past life. They have already performed all the Vedic rituals in the past life. They have already bathed in all the holy places of the universe in the past life. They have given all the charities that are mentioned in the Vedas in the past life. And not only that, they have performed all the kinds of tapasya austerities in the last life. That's the reason why they're chanting now. So what this basically means, if you're chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day, this is about you. You've already read everything, you've done everything. That's the reason why you're chanting now. If you're not chanting the names of Krishna, that means it is unfortunate. That means you have actually not done anything in the past life. That's why you're not able to chant the names of Krishna. That is the important thing. Let us see something more, very important here. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yo vidadhati kaman. Very important verse. Srila Prabhupada used to quote this a lot of times. This verse talks about the difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entities. So, there are some people who say, who try to, quote some Vedic verses from here and there, and they just try to conclude that Krishna is equal to the living entity. For example, they say, Ekam Sat Vipram Bahuda Vadanti, like that. They try to say that there is one absolute truth, but actually people say there are many. Something like that. They try to misquote and confuse us. They'll say Aham Brahmasmi, and they'll say I am the Supreme Brahman. They'll say Tattvamasi, I am that Supreme Brahman. And then they will say Brahma with Brahmaiva Bhavati. If somebody understands Brahman, he is also Brahman. So they will try to twist, and try to come to a conclusion. But here, this verse conclusively says, this is from the Kathopanishad, which says, Nityo Nityanam. That means, what's the difference between us and the Supreme Lord? Let's see that. Can anybody read this translation, please? Yeah, read the translation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, may I?
Yes, please.
The Supreme Lord is eternal and the living beings are eternal. The Supreme Lord is cognizant and the living beings are cognizant. The difference is that the Supreme Lord is supplying all the necessities of life for the many other living entities. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Here is the answer for all the impersonalists, all the followers of Advaita philosophy or monists who think that, they are equal to Krishna. Here is the answer. What is the difference between Supreme Lord and living entity? Okay, let us see. The first point number 1. The Supreme Lord is eternal, living entity eternal. Nityo Nityanam. So, we are also eternal, Krishna is also eternal. Okay, let's put the living entity first. We are also eternal, Supreme Lord also eternal. Good. Next. Chetanas Chetananam. The Supreme Lord is cognizant, living beings are also cognizant. Okay. So we'll say cognizant. So we also understand, it's said that, we understand our body, right? Our soul understands our body, and Supreme Lord is also cognizant. Chetanas Chetananam. Okay, now let us see. Just one difference will finish the debate. The difference is that the Supreme Lord is supplying all the necessities of life for many other living entities. Now let us take the ant inside your house. Okay. Now tell me, who is giving the food to the ants, to the cockroaches, and to the lizards in your house? Is it you? Is it you? Who is feeding them? Who is feeding the living entities? There are billions and trillions of ants in the world. There's uncountable flies in the world, and you cannot even count how many mosquitoes are there. Who is giving food to them? Who is feeding the elephants of Africa? Is it you? Who is feeding the elephants of Africa? And there are countless number of fishes, aquatics in the ocean. Actually, our land is only 1/4. Ocean is 3/4. Are you feeding food to the fishes? Who is the Supreme Lord? Is the living entity supreme? Is it clear now? Type clear in
We
the
are
chat.
infinitesimal.
Yeah. Lord Krishna is infinite and we are infinitesimal. Means small, tiny part. We should just, it's better we understand what's our position. And then we will be able to understand. So that's why it is said, by a lot of logic you cannot understand. By simply making some logical statements, this, that, Sanskrit, you can't understand God. You need bhakti. Bhaktyama abhijanati. It requires a little bit of intelligence. Okay. Now let's go to the next one. Here is a very powerful verse which motivates us for spiritual knowledge. Why should I do spirituality? Why don't I just enjoy like the materialistic people? The materialistic people right now, you are all listening to this class, Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Viksha, Bhakti Ladder Meetup. But there are so many people who are actually watching some nice web series on Netflix. They're watching TV. Maybe there's some cricket match that's going on right now. I don't know, India versus something. You're wasting your time. Why? Here is the answer. Uttishta jagrita prapya varannibodhat kshurasya dhara nishita duratyaya durgam patastat kavayo vadanti. Let us see. Just read this. Somebody, translation, please.
Shall I, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, please wake up and try to understand the boon that you have in this human form of life. The path of spiritual realization is very difficult. It is sharp like a razor's edge. Thank you,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
thank you. Hare Krishna. The Vedas are saying, wake up, sleeping soul, wake up. Now, there's a very beautiful song, right? Jeev jago, Gaura Chandra bole. Jeev jago, Gaura Chandra bole. Everybody knows that song?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Heard it, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Kota nidra jao maya, पिशाची रकोले. जीव जागो, गौरा चंदा बोले. कोटा निद्रा जाओ माया, पिशाची रकोले. I'll just share my screen and show you the translation. Okay, it's a big song. We listen to it. It's a very beautiful song. Lord Gauranga is calling, wake up, sleeping souls, wake up, sleeping souls. How long will you sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya? How long shall we sleep in this ignorance? How many lifetimes we have wasted being ignorant about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, being ignorant about devotional service, and even now having this such a human form of life, why are we actually wasting our time? Right? Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Okay, this human form of life is very precious. Durlabham manusham janma tadapya arthadam adruvam. Durlabham. This human life is very, very short and it's very, very rare to get it. Just don't finish it off in useless activities. Chant. The purpose of the tongue is to chant the names of Krishna. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, those people whose tongues do not chant the holy names of Krishna, their tongues are like that of the tongue of a frog. A frog also has got a tongue. What is the use of such a tongue if it doesn't chant the names of Krishna? So wake up. Use this opportunity. Human form of life is meant for self-realization. It is sharp like a razor's edge. Right? Krishna consciousness. We have to take to Krishna consciousness, right? Let's see that. Let's see some more. Now let's go to the Mundaka Upanishad. Okay, this is another interesting Upanishad. Let's see. Again, this verse is similar to the verse that we have seen in Kathopanishad. Says the same thing, that the Supreme Lord is not obtained by expert explanations, logic, or hearing, or anything. You try anything you try to do with all your efforts, you try to understand God, you will not be able to understand God. Nobody can speculate about God. He is obtained only by Him, by one whom He Himself chooses. So, for Bhagavad Gita, whom did Lord choose?
Arjuna.
Arjuna. Did Arjuna choose Krishna or did Krishna choose Arjuna?
Krishna chose Arjuna.
Krishna chose Arjuna. Krishna says, Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam etad uttamam. I am telling you the supreme knowledge because you are my devotee. It is his choice. So Krishna chose Arjuna. Okay, to such a person, he manifests his own form. His universal form was shown to Arjuna. Right? Krishna chose him. It's not that Arjuna did something and he was able to do. Duryodhana also tried. Duryodhana called Krishna home. He said, I have arranged a big royal feast for you. Please come to my home. Krishna said, I'm sorry, I'm not hungry. He went to Vidura's house. And Vidurani was shocked. She said, I'm not prepared for this. I've not prepared any feast. It's okay, no problem. Please come in, please come in. What can I give you? Okay, there were some bananas. And then she started peeling bananas and then she did what? Anybody knows what she did?
She
She
gave
gave
her
him the chilka.
chilka to eat.
She gave the chilka and Krishna very happily took it. Right? So that is the great quality of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, and then there's a very interesting verse in the Mundaka Upanishad which says, Yasmin vijñate sarvamevam vijñatam bhavati. Yasmin vijñate sarvamevam vijñatam bhavati means if you understand him, you will understand everything. If you understand him, you will understand everything. So in Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna said the same thing. Can anybody guess what is that shloka, what Krishna said? I'll show you the shloka. Okay. Now let us see. By understanding whom, you understand everything that is said in Bhagavad Gita. Let's see that verse. Right, here we see. Yo mamevam sammudho janati purushottamam sasarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. Can anybody read the translation, please?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. This is the meaning of Yasmin Vijñate Sarvameva Vijñatam Bhavat. If you know Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then Krishna is saying Sa Sarvavit. Sarvavit means Sa means he. Sarvavit means the knower of everything. If you understand Krishna, you understand everything. It's like the topmost knowledge. Krishna consciousness is the topmost knowledge. That's why it's called Vasudeva Param Jnanam. Topmost knowledge is to know about Krishna. Now let us see something very interesting. Again, this is a very nice answer for the monists who claim that Krishna is equivalent to the living entity. This is a very nice analogy. The Lord and the living entity are compared to two birds sitting in a tree. While the illusion living entity eats the fruits of the material world, the Lord as a super soul and the best friend witnesses these activities. So now let us try to understand, okay? What is the difference between living entity and also called as Jiva, right? And Krishna, who is the Ishvara. What's the difference? It is said that there are two birds. So this is like bird number 1 on a tree, bird number 2. So what is the difference between these two birds? It is said that the first bird is eating the fruits. What is the first bird doing? Eating the fruits. What is the second bird doing? Is it eating the fruit?
Watching the second bird.
Witnessing. The first bird is turned away from bird 2. First bird is turned away from bird 2. But the second bird is waiting. The first bird is jumping from one branch to another. And the second bird is following. What does that mean? Can anybody explain, please, what is going on here? What is this fruit? What is this bird? How do we understand? What is the fruits that is spoken about? What is the fruit? What is the meaning of fruit here? What is it's a figurative? Means it's a symbolic kind of a meaning. Fruit means what? Anybody can say?
Material enjoyment.
Material desires and
Material desires
material activities.
and the fruits of the result of your activities. That is your karma phala. That's why it's called phala. Phala means fruits. Karma phala means the result of your activities. You're working very hard. You're getting something. And what are you supposed to do? Eat.
Offer it to bird too.
Bunjante te tvagam papam ye pachanti atma karanat. Krishna says, anybody who eats without offering to me, he is a thief. Stena eva hi saha. He's a thief. Without offering, if you eat, without offering to Krishna.
Pap only, no? He's eating pap.
He's eating just nothing but papa. That means the bird number 1, nicely it is taking a fruit, nicely eating, opposite side, is thinking nobody is watching, but Krishna is watching. Turned away from bird 2. But what is Krishna doing? Patiently waiting. He is seeing all our nonsense for millions of lifetimes and patiently waiting, okay, one day this fellow will come. Patiently waiting. We are jumping from one branch to another. What is the meaning of jumping from one branch to another? What does it mean?
Taking different birds?
Yes, different bodies. Different bodies. And then turned away from bird 2 means not devotional. Not interested in Krishna consciousness. I don't want to chant. This is our position. I don't want to chant. I just want to eat my fruits. That's it. And I'll jump from one branch to another. I'll take different bodies. I'll keep dying and birth again and again. Krishna is always in the heart, witnessing, patiently waiting, following the bird number 1. But someday this fellow will come. Let me wait. What are we supposed to do with this fruit actually? What are we supposed to do with the fruit?
Offer it to Krishna.
Offer it to Krishna. Offer it to Krishna. Right? What did Krishna say? Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam, Yome Bhaktya Prayachasi Tadapi Bhaktya Uparotam Ashnami Prayata. Krishna also said, O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering to me. Krishna Arpanamastu. You should offer it to Krishna. Ultimately, whatever you do, you should offer it to Krishna. Even if the food that you're having, you should offer it to Krishna and have it. Everything should be offered to Krishna. Otherwise, we are like the bird number 1. So how many of you found such a powerful lesson in this? So type powerful in the chat. You found it very powerful. Right? Just a simple example analogy of 2 birds. And there is so much of tattva inside it, so much of hidden message inside it. And we need to know the entire depth to be able to figure out what is the meaning of it. Okay. Now comes the shloka about the guru. A lot of people have a doubt. Why do I need a guru? I am my guru. How many of you think like that? I am my guru. Type me in the chat. So here is a shloka which says from Upanishad, Tad Vijnanartham Sagurumeva Abhigachet Samitpani Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. That means, let us see what it means. Anybody can read this? Anybody can read the translation, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, go ahead.
To understand these things properly, one must humbly approach with firewood in hand a spiritual master who is learned in the Vedas and firmly devoted to the absolute truth. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Here the word abhigachet is given. The word Sanskrit word abhigachet does not mean can go, may go, optional. No. Abhigachet means must go, must, compulsory. Tat vijnanartham sa gurumeva abhigachet. You must go to the spiritual master. That's what it means. Whom should you go to? Who is the spiritual master? Brahmanishtam, who understands the absolute truth 100%. To such a spiritual master, you must surrender humbly. Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya padekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying. You must approach the spiritual master who is a devotee, who is a pure devotee of Krishna. Only the pure devotee of Krishna is the real spiritual master because he is the representative of Krishna. He will not deviate from Krishna's words. He will not, there are some kind of scholars who want to diminish Krishna. They say when Krishna is saying me, they say it's not Krishna. No, this is not Krishna. Krishna did not write Bhagavad Gita. Like that, there are some atheistic scholars who want to make business out of Bhagavad Gita, but they are not interested in Krishna, and they deviate the minds of people who are reading that books, their commentaries. So, such kind of gurus we must not approach. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam, we should approach the one who is a pure devotee of Krishna. And then the similar one, when Bhagavan comes to know, same thing. This is Kasmin Bhavato Vijnate Sarvameva Vijnatam Bhavati. Okay, let's go to the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. This is such a wonderful Upanishad. Okay, let us see. Let us start with this shloka first. Okay, how many of you know what is the size of the soul, Atma? What is the soul of the size of the soul? How big is it? Is it size of a plum or mango, plum, or 1 millimeter, 10 millimeters, 1 centimeter? How much is that? How much is that?
1/10,000 of the tip of the hair.
That's right. That's the shloka here. Balagra shatabhagasya shatadha kalpitasya cha bhago jivasya vigneya idichaha parashrutihi. Balagra shatabhagasya means bala means hair. Agra means tip of the hair. Shatabhagasya means 100. Make it into 100 parts. Take the tip of the hair, make it into 100 parts. Again, shatada shatakalpitasya means again 100 parts you make another 100. 100 multiplied by 100, 10,000. Right? So that is how it became 10,000. Okay. So if we take the tip of the hair into 100 parts and then take one part and make another 100 parts, that 10,000th part is the dimension of the living entity. This is the verdict of the chief Vedic mantras. All right. Now comes something very interesting. Again, it's a perfect answer for the impersonalists who want to say that Krishna is same as, who want to say that Krishna is impersonal. They want to say, you know what? You people are like worshipping God with names and form. You know, the purpose of all these names and form is temporary. You have to go beyond this temporary and go to that permanent, impersonal, formless, nameless God. What is that formless, nameless God? What do you mean by formless and nameless? When there is no name, there is no form, then why are you saying God again? Right? So this is their argument. Formless, nameless, and they'll just go on doing this for the full lifetime. They'll waste their money, time. They say, Raso Vaisaha, devotees are full of transcendental mellow, but they like to burn that rasa. If you give a nice mango, what are you supposed to do? What do you do with the mango? Juicy mango, will you drink it or not juice? Right? But these impersonalists, they will fry it and they'll make complete ash and they'll apply that ash. That is their style. Devotees are not like that. They are enjoying the juice, rasa, not dry speculation. Like, just burn that mango and take the ash. No. Here is the answer. Apanipado javano grahita. Very nice. The Supreme Lord has no hands, but still accepts. What does that mean? But we thought that The absolute truth is formless. I was told that all these days that, the absolute truth does not have hands. If absolute truth does not have hands, then why did Krishna say, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktya pupratam ashnami prayatatmanah. Krishna is saying, you offer to me with love a fruit or a flower or a water or a leaf, tulsi leaf, I will accept. If Krishna does not have any hands, then how will he accept? Apani pado, no hands, no legs, javano grahita, but still accepts, but still he moves. When Gajendra is in trouble, how much time did Lord take to come down? Anybody can say? What is the vehicle of Krishna?
Garuda.
Garuda. And what is the speed of Garuda?
Fraction of a second.
It is the speed of mind. Garuda travels at the speed of mind. So just close your eyes and just go to your birthplace. You can go in 1 minute, your village, wherever you are born. You can go to the opposite side of the country. You can go out of the galaxy, just close with the speed of your mind. Apanipado Javano Grahita. Krishna, he has got the carrier, this Garuda. When Gajendra is in trouble, shouting loudly, please save me from this crocodile, he immediately appeared. So he does not have material legs, material hands, but he's taking. Lord Ramachandra, when Shabari gave a fruit, right, which he's tasting and she's giving Shabari, Lord is taking. Javano Grahita. Grahit is taking. How are you saying he does not have hands? Are you getting what I'm saying? Is it clear? Are understanding?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. So that is what it is, right? This is not material hands. Lord Ramachandra's hands are not material. Shabari giving a fruit out of love and Lord Ramachandra taking it out of love is not material. It is spiritual. Lord Vishnu traveling with the help of the Garuda to save his devotee is not material, spiritual. And it is said that he is the knower of everything. He is all that to be known. Vedas sarve rahameva vedyo. It is said that he is the best and the greatest of all persons. Purushottama. He is the Purushottama. He is the Supreme Lord. He is the best of all the people, greatest of all the people. He is supposed to be known. Right? He is the Vedya. Right? We have seen in 13th chapter, right? What is Purusha, Prakriti, Purusha, Jnana, Gneya. He is supposed to be the object of knowledge. Krishna. Super soul. Object of knowledge. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. Natat samas chabhyadikascha drishyate. Parasya shaktir vividaiva shruyate. Swabhaviki jnana balakriyacha. Wonderful shloka. Prabhupada's favorite. What does that mean? Anybody wants to read?
Prabhuji.
Yes, please, go ahead.
The Supreme Lord has nothing to do, nothing is equal to him or greater than him. He acts in different phases by manifesting his parts and parcels, which are all simultaneously differently situated by his unlimited variegated potencies. Each potency acts quite naturally in sequences, providing him full knowledge, power, and pastimes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. The Supreme Lord has got nothing to do. Let us just take this word. The Supreme Lord has got nothing to do. Right? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna said this. What did he say? Anybody knows? Right? He says that I have na karma limpanti, na me karma phalaspri. Na karmanam limpanti, na me karma phalas. Na karmana limpanti, na me karma phalasprati. That means the Supreme Lord does not have got anything to do, but still he is acting. Why is he acting? He has got nothing to do, but still he is doing action. Why? I'll show you this sloka. This is from the
To
Srimad
set an
Bhagavad Gita.
example.
Perfect. Karma Yoga 3.22. Name partasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayevacha karmani. O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within the 3 planetary systems, nor I am in want of anything, nor do I have a need to obtain anything, yet I am prescribed in my prescribed duties. I am engaged in my prescribed duties. Why? If Krishna stops acting, यदि ही अहम न वर्तेयम जातु कर्मण्य अतंद्रितः मम वर्तमानु वर्तन्ते मनुष्या पार्थ सर्वशः. If I fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, certainly all men will follow my path. If Krishna will stop working, we will stop working. So the same thing, you see, it is given here. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. Now, are you able to correlate Bhagavad Gita and the Vedas, Upanishads? Is it clear? The Supreme Lord has got nothing to do. Is it clear? Yes?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Is it crystal clear? Is there any doubt? Is there any little bit of doubt also? It should not be there. It should be 100% clear. We should not have a little bit of doubt also. Whether Krishna is the Supreme Brahman or not, we should not have this doubt. Whatever is given in the Upanishads, maybe it is talking about something different than Krishna. We should not get into this kind of confusion, which is done by these monists. Natat samas chabhyadikascha drishyate. That means what? Can anybody read this? Whatever I'm highlighting. What does it say?
Nothing is equal to him or greater than him.
Right? So, what is the equivalent of that in Bhagavad Gita? There is no truth superior to me. Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam protam sutre maniganariva. Okay, let us see that shloka. Now, so the same thing, okay, from Upanishads we are reconciling to Bhagavad Gita, which is Upanishad Sara. Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. That means the same thing. He's saying that there is nobody who is equal to Krishna. Therefore, we should never say everybody is equal. It is, if you say like that, it is actually an offense towards Krishna. It is almost like saying Modi is equal to one peon. Just like that. If you go to the king and say you are nothing but a peon, then it's a big offense, actually. And it's a very dangerous statement to make in front of the king, because you are actually insulting him by saying that everybody is equal. The same thing here, it is said, nothing is equal to him or greater than him. Na tat samaha, nobody is equal to him. Na cha adhikascha drishyate, nobody is above him. Nothing is greater than or equal to him. That's why his name is Asamordhva. Means nobody is even equal to him nor greater than him. Everybody is coming from him. Parasya shaktir vividhaiva shruyate. That means all the multiple energies are coming from Krishna. Tell me about 3 energies that Bhagavad Gita speaks about. There are 3 energies that Krishna spoke in the Bhagavad Gita. What is the energy number 1?
External energy, internal and marginal.
External energy, marginal energy, and internal energy. Right? Who is the external energy? What is the example of that? That is the, what is external energy? Maya or Prakriti or nature, material nature. What is marginal energy?
Living entity.
Living entity, Jiva. Living entity is a marginal, is between. Internal energy is Krishna's own potency, Bhakti, right? Devotional service. So, should we be associated with, should Jiva go and associate with Maya? Or should Jiva go and associate it with internal energy? Where we should be?
Internal energy.
Where are we currently?
Maya.
External.
With Maya. So like this, these are only 3 energies which are explained here, but there are how many? Parasya shaktir vividhaiva shruyate means there are infinite energies which Krishna has got. We cannot even list here. Infinite energies are there, Krishna. And all of them are working automatically. Right? So, that is the thing. Swabhavaki jnana bala kriya cha. That is the Shvetashvara Upanishad. Okay? So are you able to link everything now? Is it interesting? Okay, right. So yeah, we have some more shlokas. So yeah, maybe we'll conclude this session. What do you think? We can continue in the next class. We have some more shlokas and very interesting Upanishads. We have the Isha Upanishad, we have the Narayana Upanishad, Maha Upanishad, Vasudeva Upanishad, Gopal Tapani Upanishad, Kalisantarana Upanishad. It's just I just picked few. That's it. I mean, we can infinitely go and talking about this. Okay. So, but now maybe we'll just close the class for now. So, I just want to hear from you. What are your realizations? We did not even conclude. Okay. It's just like the first half is done. Abhi interval now. Picture abhi baki hai. Okay. Fine. Hare Krishna. So, I want to hear from you. How was the knowledge? What did you listen today? What is your realization? I want to hear from you all. Yeah, please share your realization.
Very deep study, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Very deep.
Yeah,
But and very
Knowledge
interesting
is too
also.
vast.
Takes time to ingest.
Yeah, I know.
Really.
It's a very deep. It's Upanishads, right? It's not normal knowledge. Upanishads is meant for the sannyasis, and it's a very deep philosophical knowledge. And but then I tell you one thing. By the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. Because those people who are chanting the names of Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily, the people are very elevated people. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying this chanting, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Those people who are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they are very intelligent. They can understand this Upanishads. They will be able to understand. It may take some time, but they will be able to understand. But the main point is we should be chanting. The chanting is the qualification for understanding this mysterious knowledge. Without chanting, nothing can be understood. Okay, without devotional service, bhaktya mama abhijanat. Without devotional service, we can't understand. Because we have devotional service, I'm sure all of you have understood something or the other. Maybe you have to repeat and listen to this again and again. We have to read Prabhupada books again and again. So what I've taken is like a very distilled version of Prabhupada's quotations. It's like very, very thick, right? It's very, very strong. So you just have to repeatedly hear this or read Prabhupada books, then it will be very clear. Okay? Yes, thank you, Mataji. Yes, Renuka Mataji, you want to say something?
Prabhuji, how the Upanishads were connected to Bhagavad Gita, it's really wonderful. We did not have that knowledge at all. It was really knowledgeable class, I can say.
It's a mainly jnana, right? Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Mm.
So the thing is, yeah, Upanishads is about jnana, knowledge. See, we have two choices, okay? One choice is, when Prabhupada says chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we can just accept. Prabhupada said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Krishna Supreme Lord. Why should I think? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I accept. Prabhupada said, chant, I will chant. Finished. But not everybody can understand like that. So it's not so easy. Some people will say, why? Why should I blindly believe in this? Why? Show me the reason. I want some explanation. I don't want to blindly believe anything. It's for them, jnana. So it's for us also. It's not that we, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, don't be lazy in understanding tattva. Don't be lazy in understanding tattva, because we should be 100% clear about our stand. Or else it's very easy that anybody can just come in and just say, what are you people doing? You know what? The Vedas actually says something else. Bhagavad Gita is not a part of the Vedas, or something like that. They can start and just, they can, our faith is so soft. Then very easily they can deviate and say some things and say, I'll quote from Vedas now, and confuse us. That's what happens. So if we know this strong fundamentals foundation, and we'll be like unshaken. If we can remember all of this, it's still great. When we can defeat everybody, whoever is coming and trying to say or mislead us or misguide us. Okay, it's very easy. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing your realization.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's Naresh Prabhu. Hare Krishna. What are your takeaways? Unable to hear you. Sorry.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, can hear you.
Hello? Can you
Yes,
hear me?
yes, can hear you. Can hear. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, my takeaway is from the first video, right? So the first video telling that there was Vedas, and then it explained about Vedas. But from there, I understand that everything in Vedas is comprised of everything. Like you go to a modern university, but all the why people say you cannot finish reading Vedas means it's like Veda comprises of everything, from agriculture, from business, and then from science. So that is what people actually meant by you cannot finish. Like you go to a university and you try to finish all the degrees, diplomas that are available there. So it cannot be done. But everything will come down to Krishna. You understand Krishna, and all these fields will become easy for you.
Yeah, that's a central point.
The takeaway from me.
Nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing. Hare Krishna. Yes, Indra Hardas Mataji, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful class. But it is very difficult to understand now. I have to read it again and again, then only it will be easy for me.
No problem, no problem.
I have
Yeah,
to attend your class again and again, then only.
no problem, no problem. This is all Upanishads and very, very deep philosophical literature. It's not normal. It's normal, but we may not be able to understand a lot of things. It's okay, no problem. We are attempting, and we have the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have mercy of Prabhupada, then we may understand something by mercy of Krishna. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, the way you prepare the slides is very beautiful, Prabhuji, to understand the flow chart. Kindly share it in the group, Prabhuji. I just want to, go through it again and again.
Sure, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Manisha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the. As we are listening to your class, more and more understanding, we can understand much more about Krishna. And every time we are getting something or the other about Krishna.
Okay,
thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Selvam Prabhu, Hare Krishna. How are you doing? Are you able to hear me? Okay. Who else? Gangai Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The first time we are coming across with this Vedas and Upanishads, very deep knowledge. Somehow, what is of course, very, very good high class. This every place so much and very much impressed.
Sure, thank you, Prabhu. In the next class, I will summarize this and make sure that we understand this better. Okay, so sometimes it's like first attempt may not be clear. Second attempt, I'll summarize this again, and it may be more clear then. Okay, thank you.
Right.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Premamai, Hare Krishna. What are your takeaways? Okay. All right. Okay, devotees. Thank you for joining very much. Thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you again in the next class. Okay, that'll be on.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dhanavad pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dhanavad pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dhanavad pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Dhanavad pranam.
Dhanavad pranam.